Expo, the React Native folks, have come up with an application server because now they're doing web, and it includes API routes. Can we get that going with, say, a Vite app with API routes for free? Let's try it out right now. All right, so the first thing I'm going to do is create a Vite application. I'm going to call this one Jahur. I'm Jahur Vite. Now I'm going to go in there. I'm going to do this all from the console to start. So the first thing I'm going to do is install. Then I'm going to run dev just to make sure we know what we have. Bring that up in my browser. Looks good. So now let's build this thing. That's going to create a local directory called dist that has all of the static assets in it for our site. Now I'm going to deploy it on the Expo service. To do that, I globally add the EAS CLI package. Then I log in, which I already have. And once I've done that, I do deploy. All right, do I want to automatically set up one? Well, I don't have one already, so yes. All right, what do we want to call this thing? Let's call it Jahur Vite Expo app. All right, we got our deployment URL. We can go there and we're deployed. Now that was great and incredibly fast to set up, but we want to support API routes that our SPA application here can call. Now, one thing I know that actually supports that on this service is an Expo app. So an Expo app can create iOS and Android and web, and that web server can support API routes. So we're going to go build an Expo app and see how it does it so that we can replicate it in our Vite app. But before we do that, I want to take a quick moment to talk about today's sponsor, and that's Infinite Red. They are the OG React Native consultancy. Did you know that React Native is getting close to turning 10? It's crazy. And Infinite Red has been around the entire time in the React Native space. Check out this article. This is from 8 years ago. They were talking about flux patterns, and Redux was cutting edge back then. You can see not only were they really into React Native back then, but they were also into the community. And that has been a thread throughout. And that's why I love these folks. They're not only experts at React Native, they're also really engaged in the community. Every year they do a conference here in my hometown of Portland, Oregon, called Chain React. I was lucky enough to speak there last year about AI. Not only did they give me the slot, but they also helped me do the research on it. These are just great folks. They're also doing React Native open source. They've got their Ignite framework. So if you want a great way to bootstrap your React Native application, go and try out the Ignite framework. That is fantastic. You know, anytime any folks ask me, hey, I'm stuck, I want to build this awesome React Native application and I could use some help, the folks that I recommend are Infinite Red. They are fantastic. Go check them out today and make sure that you tell them that Jack sent you. I would really appreciate that. All right, so as I said, Expo for Web supports API routes. So let's go and build ourselves an Expo application and see how that actually works. So I'm going to go back up a directory. I'm going to create myself an Expo app. I'm going to call it Jahur Expo. I'm going to jump in that directory. I'm going to remove the package lock because I'm not on npm. I'm going to do a pm install. Now I'm going to run the website. To do that, I'm going to use pm web. All right, so this is what our Expo website looks like. Pretty cool. Let's go back over into our terminal. Now let's go and build and deploy this thing just to make sure that that works. To do that, I'm going to build for the web platform. And then again, I'm going to use EAS deploy. Again, I want to create a new project. Again, I'll say Jahur Expo. Now we've got our deployment URL. God, this is so fast. Look at that. That is bonkers how easy and fast that is. All right, now let's go and add an API to it. So I'm actually going to go back and bring up Windsurf here. Now to add an API route to our application, I'm going to go into our app here. This is where our top level directory is for this application. I'm going to go create a new file. We'll call it hello. And we'll say it's an API route by doing plus API. We'll say it's TypeScript. And then this is our response handler. We just want to say hello in response to a request. All right, let's give it a check locally. All right, we'll go to 8081 and then we'll go to /hello. And there's our JSON. There's our API endpoint. So easy. Now to get that deployed, we do need to make one change to our application configuration over here, down in the web. We don't want to be a static site anymore. We want to be a server-based site because we're actually going to process requests like that API route. So we'll again do our export. We'll again do our deploy. Look at how fast that is. I actually didn't cut that down at all. Whoa! All right, let's bring up that deployment. Again, looks great. And we'll hit our API route, and that's great. We have a deployed API route on our application. We want to do the same thing for Vite. So we need to know, how is it actually doing this? Well, let's go back over into our WinServe, and we want to take a look at the dist directory, because that's actually what's deployed. That's actually what EAS deploy does. It copies this directory of contents over to the server. Okay, let's go take a look inside of that. All right, now we're in our client directory. We've got all of the client assets. That would be the bundle of JavaScript for the web, as well as any fonts and images. And then on the server side, we've got some interesting stuff. So we've got the HTML for everything. So it's automatically statically generated that. That's cool. We've also got this Expo directory, and this Expo directory is very interesting. This is how they pull off the function stuff. So we got this routes.json file. Now this routes.json file is basically a manifest. It tells the server where to get everything. In the case of our API routes, it tells it where that file is. That file is over here, hello API.js. And so now our server that's going to be running over in EAS knows whenever it gets a request to hello, that's that named regex in there, then it's going to run the code in that file. We've got the same kind of thing for HTML routes. It looks at the named regex to see which HTML page is to send to the client in response to any request. There's also a not found route down here for 404s. What we are really interested in is the API routes. Can we go and add API routes to our Vite server? So we're going to need to imitate this routes.json file. We're also going to need to imitate what's in this hello API.js file. I'm going to turn on word wrap here so we can see this is a big ball of minimized schvutz. What it really is it's a common JS file that has compiled that one function that we have. You can actually see it all the way down at the end here. This is actually our function. So what we need to do is, one, restructure our Vite app so that it follows this client server setup. Two, we need to go and create that routes.json file. And then we need to go and create an API route and structure it in this common JS format here. Okay, let's give it a try. So I'll bring up Jahur Vite. So where do we want to start? Well, I think we want to look at our current dist directory when it comes to this Jahur Vite project, see what it looks like, and then restructure it so that it looks like what it does for Expo. So I'm going to bring up dist here to see what it looks like now. So it's set up really simply. We've got an index.html file at the top. We've got the Vite SVG, and we've got our assets, which include our bundle of JavaScript. This is exactly what you do if you'd set this up on an S3. What we really want is we want a client directory and a server directory. So let's go and start building that out. So to do that, I'm going to go and tweak some stuff in our package.json. First thing I'm going to do is rename build to build Vite. Then I'm going to create another build command to restructure that dist folder a little bit. So the first thing I'm going to do is create that dist client directory. Then I'm going to move dist assets into that client directory. And then I'm going to move that SVG file in there. So that sets up our client directory. Next, I'm going to create a new build command that just calls build Vite and then build client. Let's give that a try. Now let's take a look at that dist directory. Kind of has what we want. It's got a client directory in there. Let's take a look. And that looks good. That looks like what we'd want on the client side. But our index page needs to go into a server, and we need to add that routes.json file. So now that we have the client section looking good, let's go and create that server folder and add our HTML into it. To do that, we create dist server, and then we move that HTML into that. And let's go and add that to our list of items we need to do on build. Give it another try. Let's check it out. And it looks good. Let's take a look in that server directory. Got the HTML. That's great. So now we need that Expo folder inside there that has that routes.json file to route to that index.html. I'm going to put that routes.json file in a new directory called API assets. Call it routes.json. I'll say that we don't have any API routes currently, but we do have some HTML routes, and that's just that /index page. So now let's go and copy this file into our dist. To do that, I'm going to create another command. This is going to create the Expo directory within the server directory, and then copy that routes file from API assets into that directory. And of course, we want to add it to our build. All right, now we're built. Let's take a look one more time. Dist server, we got our Expo directory in there. Inside of that, we got our routes file. I think we're good. I think we can deploy this thing and see if it works before we start adding the APIs. So let's do EAS deploy. Wow, so fast. And it's working. Awesome. So now we've restructured our Vite application to look like It's an Expo application, which opened the door for us to add our API routes. Exciting! So let's create our API route. To do that, I'm going to create another directory at the top level, call it API source. And inside of there, we'll have our hello.ts file. We'll put in there our get function. So you can have get, you can have post, you can have put. This is going to be in response to the get verb. Now let's add that to our routes.json file. But now we don't have that hello.js file. We need to take our hello.ts file and compile it into a common.js hello.js file. All right, let's go and bring in a new tool called esbuild. It's a very fast bundler. And now that we've got that installed, I can go over here and we can use esbuild to compile all the TypeScript files in the API source directory into common.js. So we're going to use the bundle option to make sure that all the dependencies are in that common.js file. We're going to use the format of CJS. The platform is going to be Node because it's going to be running on a server out there. And then we're going to point esbuild at our Expo directory, and we're going to give it the tsconfig file so it knows how to handle our TypeScript. Of course, we want to add our build API at the end of our build statement, and let's give it a go. All right, esbuild has created that file for us. Let's go take a look. Now, it doesn't look like the other file. It wasn't minified, but it is common.js. It's good enough for me. So I'm going to go and try to deploy it. All right, we're deployed. Let's ask for our route. There it is, our API route running on our deployed server. That is so cool. Now we can make a request from our Vite SPA application to an endpoint on our server. To do that, I'm going to create one more endpoint. We'll call it Pokemon. And what Pokemon does is go off to the Poke API v2, get the list of Pokemon, and return it. Of course, now we have to route to that API. So what do? Well, we go over to our routes.json file, and then we assign /Pokemon to that JS file. Now let's just assume that it works. So I'm going to go over here to our source directory inside of app.tsx, and I'm going to replace all of this boilerplate code with a new app that basically uses state to hold a list of all of the names coming back from the Pokemon, and then it uses useEffect to do a fetch. Just to make it look good, I'm going to go and remove everything from app.css, not that it's included anyway, and I'm going to go over to index.css and just make it a black on white color scheme. All right, let's build this thing and deploy it. All right, we've built and we can see that we've created that Pokemon.js file, so let's deploy it. Again, so fast. And there you have it. Now our Vite SPA application starts up, makes a request to our API endpoint. We can see that right here as we go to Pokemon, we get the response back. So cool. Now to finish up, let's take a look at what it looks like on the Expo site. So I'm going to go over to Expo Dev. We can see that I've got those two projects, my Expo project and my Jahurt Vite project. If I go into here, we can look at hosting. That's this new beta service. We can look at our deployments. These are the deployments we've made. We can look at our overview to see all of the requests over time. This is awesome stuff. And of course, you can do production deployments as well as you can have your own custom domains. So if you want to go and have, like, for example, your portfolio with some API endpoints behind it, you can do that right here. Now, the unique thing about Expo in this case is not only do you have this hosting, but you also got hosting the binaries of your iOS and Android applications. So it is a one-stop shop if you want to do the solopreneur thing and build out your own application with your own APIs. Really great stuff. All right, let me know in the comments if you are going to try out EAS. In the meantime, if you like this video, hit that like button. If you really like the video, hit the subscribe button and click on that bell and be notified the next time a new Blue Collar Coder comes out.